Good evening and happy Friday, everyone. We are tracking that big drop in temperatures now for the weekend. It's upon us. Get ready. It's going to get quite cold for the weekend before temperatures will climb back up. And we're going to be back reaching the 50s by Tuesday of next week and likely even towards, if not in the 60s, by Wednesday. So, yes, temperatures will be just as mild as what we had for today looking ahead, but it won't arrive until we get more so into the middle of next week here. Near term, going to be trending much colder with respect to what we have for today. Our temperatures, especially for the afternoon hours, it's almost cut in half from what we had for today and what we're going to notice for Saturday afternoons. Without further ado, let's jump into the forecast. And the big story that we're going to be talking about are these temperatures for this weekend. So yes, we will have some precipitation, but by far the big story is purely just these temperatures and how much colder they will be looking ahead for the weekend. So our temperatures right now are still in the 50s, and even leading up to midnight, where temperatures are still likely going to reside closer to that 50-degree mark. We're not going to notice the cool down tonight likely until more so after midnight. That'll be in the wake of a cold front passage. And you'll notice by the time we're waking up tomorrow morning, we'll see those temperatures likely residing closer to freezing. And there's going to be very little to no warming possibly into Saturday afternoon. So our temperatures that we're waking up with are very much on par with what we're going to see in the afternoon. Again, temperatures are fairly stable likely throughout the day Saturday. I don't think there's much variation at all. And then temperatures will then fall through the 20s in the evening and eventually into the teens by Sunday morning. And from there, high temperatures Sunday afternoon back in the mid to lower 30s. So temperatures have been unconventional for your Saturday to where I really think our high temperature comes more so right at daybreak for the day. And then we're starting to trend a bit cooler going into the afternoon. And I think it's possible that temperatures could even fall into the 20s for the afternoon. I think there is that possibility that we could even drop in the 20s by the afternoon hours and then eventually again in the teens into Sunday morning. That doesn't tell the whole story, though, because we have to take into consideration a breeze that will be in place. Much like what we have for today, it carries over into tomorrow as well before those winds diminish tomorrow night, and much lighter wind in place than for Sunday. So the wind chill outlook, here's how cold it's going to feel as our temperatures are still residing closer to 50. Wind chill not going to be much of a factor right around that midnight mark. But as we advance this by Saturday morning, as temperatures have fallen likely closer to that 30-degree mark, these wind chills are falling closer to, if not into the teens. So it's already going to be quite a cold start to the day Saturday. And you'll notice how there's not much variation in those wind chills from the morning into the afternoon. Going to be bitterly cold in terms of those wind chills throughout your daytime tomorrow. By Sunday morning, and this is again when those wind chills, the wind speeds will start to diminish. So the wind chills are closer to the actual air temperature. But again, the actual air temperature itself is falling into the teens. So even when we're dealing with a lighter wind at that point, still with that wind in place, even though it's much lighter Sunday morning, those wind chills are still likely closer to the single digits for a good portion of the area. And then by Sunday afternoon, wind chills back in the 20s with those high temperatures then climbing back into the 30s. And talking about those wind speeds, looking at current wind gusts right now at 21 mile per hour at Cambridge, Ohio County Airport actually not having a wind gust coming in at this hour. 33 Mansfield, 32 Akron, 21 Youngstown, 12 Wintersville, and 18 New Philadelphia. Those higher wind gusts, though, we are seeing more towards our north and west right now. Reflected there in Akron, Youngstown, Mansfield. That's going to translate into our area here for the first half of the night. And these wind speeds are going to start to pick up a bit as this cold front passes. And I think the wind speeds here as the front passes going up, leading up towards that midnight mark, and then even after into Saturday, can gust in excess of 30 miles per hour, maybe up to 40 as the front itself passes around midnight. That is a possibility, but for the most of the time, this wind gusts are going to be likely anywhere from around 20, 25 up to about 30, 35 miles per hour in that range, just during that stretch of tonight, then continuing all the way through Saturday afternoon. By Saturday night to Sunday, again, those winds are diminishing, and then a lighter wind in place Sunday into Monday. That will coincide with a good amount of sunshine breaking out with those lighter winds, thanks to high pressure that'll be sitting over the area for that 2-day stretch. And yes, with this cold front passage, we are going to be tracking some precipitation. It's going to be as rain showers. These are light rain showers, and overall, the amount of precipitation we are getting is much lower than what we had for last night. We're not tracking any thunderstorms moving into the area. We're not tracking any real heavy rain. This is just some lighter rain moving back into the region with these showers, with this cold front passage, and they'll likely continue as we do extend up towards that midnight mark. And then in the wake of this cold front passage after midnight, precipitation will start to get back to widely scattered, but as temperatures drop off, what we'll notice is these widely scattered showers will transition from rain to snow. So we can have a couple of snow showers around in place to start off the day Saturday, and then even continuing into Saturday afternoon. By the end of the day Saturday, then is when these snow showers will be tapering off, and from there we're going to be tracking some dry conditions for the remainder of the weekend, and this is when we'll also start to see a decrease in our cloud cover, yielding plenty of that sunshine for the second half of the weekend. But again, our temperatures remain cold, likely only climbing in the mid to lower 30s into Sunday afternoon. And in terms of the snowfall amounts, with the snow showers that we can have in place late tonight and through Saturday, it likely amounts to little or no snow accumulation. If we're seeing anything measurable, it's likely a half inch or less. If we're seeing anything measurable with these snow showers, but I think that the amounts, the impacts, they are both minimal going through Saturday. So that's why I say I think the bigger story are these gusty winds, the blustery conditions, just with how cold it's going to be. In addition to that breeze in place for your Saturday, I think we're going to feel the bigger impact in the drop in temperatures and these wind chills, more so than any of these snow showers creating some slippery road conditions going throughout the day Saturday. I think the bigger impact is just purely the drop in temperatures and the wind speeds that are going to be picking up, and the combination, the wind chills, certainly making for some bitterly cold conditions on Saturday. Then by Sunday, winds diminish and ultimately feeling a bit warmer, although the actual high temperature for Saturday and Sunday can be very similar. I think it's going to feel warmer to us by Sunday afternoon. By Monday, then certainly it'll feel warmer to us. High temperatures back in the 40s, mostly sunny skies, more cloud cover Tuesday, maybe some rain showers the latter part of the day. At that point, highs are likely back in the 50s. The widespread rain then arrives Tuesday night into Wednesday, and that's when we'll see those high temperatures closer to maybe even into the 60s. And how about this whiplash of temperatures for us here over the next week? Because notice what happens right after Wednesday. And cold front passage then bumps us back into the 30s for a high temperature next Thursday. We can even have some snow showers around the area next Thursday with that cool down. So yeah, this up and down pattern likely only continues here over the next couple of weeks, and quite a whiplash, if you will, of these temperatures going from 50s, quite possibly 60s, 30s. That's our future here looking ahead over the next week. Kyle says, no, it's a 5 days out still, but is there a possibility for severe weather, temps being in the 60s and then a strong cold front? Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on that. I wouldn't be surprised if we at least have that possibility for some thunderstorms, as it could be a pretty strong front move through. So, yeah, it's still unfortunately a little too early to call severe weather, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it. I would say that, some thunderstorms I think could certainly be possible. So we will certainly keep an eye on that, as yes, we'll watch for that around Wednesday, because that is certainly a strong front to drop those temperatures that much. You are not wrong, Kyle. Absolutely. That's going to be a strong front coming through. Patty says, thank you. Appreciate News 9. Well, thank you, Patty. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in this evening for a weather update on this Friday evening. I hope everyone can find a way to stay warm this weekend with our temperatures back into the 30s. I know it's nothing like what we had over the past couple of months, but certainly nonetheless, with respect to these 50s, it's going to be a shock to the system coming from, especially today. It's so nice today, wasn't it? The sun was out, the temperatures in the 50s, and boy, is it going to be a far cry from that going throughout this weekend. The sunshine is the same by Sunday, but these temperatures, it's going to shock us. It's going to be a shock to the system stepping out tomorrow morning compared to what we just dealt with this evening and this afternoon with these nice mild temperatures. Going to be a shock going out tomorrow morning. Renee says, thanks for the update. Thank you. I appreciate it. As always, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone had, again, a wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Of course, I'll be off here this weekend, but you can join me coming up right here for our weather update on Monday evening, where we'll further break down that rain coming our way, maybe some thunderstorms like Kyle was hinting at, into Wednesday. So make sure to stay tuned for the latest then, as we'll break down that next round of precipitation Monday evening. And up until that point, of course, make sure to stay tuned with Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Amanda Berry for the latest updates of what's coming our way as we go throughout the weekend as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Have a good weekend.